3, 2. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley, and joined as always with my co-host and friend, Rick Hogg. How's it going, buddy?
Man, Mark, it's kind of interesting right now. I'm looking out my window, making sure there's no drones peeking on me as far as hopefully I got my pants on. You know what I'm saying? But no, bro, that's going great, man. Any day that you're alive is a great day. How we capitalizing on it, that's on you guys. Thanks for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. You can't buy it. You can't get it from nobody. You got to make sure that you're investing time in yourself, being that 1% better every day. And with that, no better way than with today's sponsor of the show, if you want to say the Firearms Training Notebook, right? If you're going to make yourself 1% better with your firearms, make sure you got a plan. The Firearms Training Notebook is a perfect tool for that. And guys, don't forget, since you're out there kind of surfing the interwebs, hopefully not wasting your time, swing by warhog.com, kelleydefense.com. Check out those group pages we got, right? So something new we're playing with. You guys know the deal, man. This is like really the last frontier of freedom of speech, and our websites are as well, because we control those. You go to Meta, you're just going to get restricted. You go to all these other platforms, you get restricted. You go on Google for some search engines, you're going to get restricted. So kind of drives right into this episode, I think, Mark, is really kind of talking about these drones and lack thereof of information. What's going on?
I know. Wherever you are, everyone, thank you for making this part of your day. Don't forget to swing by, like Rick said, those websites and the brand new ontherangepodcast.com. Check that out. There's a direct link to join the crew. There's a direct link to buy the Firearms Training Notebook. It's a one-stop shop. Plus, you can listen to the episodes that we have in the past audio right directly from the website, ontherangepodcast.com. You're right, Rick. It's kind of strange happenings going on in the Garden State.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. Some of the video, when you first see it, like, oh man, wow, okay, this is something. What's everybody saying about it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of folks are not saying a whole lot, and then some people that are saying very little, and the even worse. And the problem with that is it kind of leads into, how do they not know? How do they not know what's going on? How do they not know who they are and all these other things? That's a very good question. More so than actually what's the physical danger of what is currently occurring. I think of what could possibly occur, and that to me is a heck of a lot scarier, because these things have to be defeated somehow. And if they
Yeah.
were, and they were really a threat, and they weren't able to defeat them, that's a concern.
Sure. And here's the other thing, Mark, right? We're not talking about hobbyist drones. We're talking about big boys, right? When you think about the size of these drones, and if you guys have seen any type of footage come out of the Ukraine, these things can carry a payload. What do they potentially got on there? What are they doing? If they were USG driven, and I find it hard to believe that all of a sudden these are just not commercial drones, right? You're not going running down to your local shop and buying these off the shelf, right? These are specific drones that you got to go get. If they are USG or US government, why are they not saying anything? Why is everything being so tight-lipped, right? And then you've got some other parts of this that make, raise that eyebrow, okay? So you got another drone owner who's got just a regular commercial drone, full battery life in his drone, wants to zip it up there, kind of check it out. And dude, he lifts that thing off, and next you know, bam, power sucked out of that battery. How does that happen? Right? There were some rumors as far as this mothership off of, the coast and zipping all these drones off and everything else, right? And somehow that was gaining traction there for a while. But at the end of the day, we just don't know. Now, there's some speculations. I heard this one gentleman, he actually owns a drone factory that produces drones for the U.S. government, right? So I forget, don't quote me on the exact time frame, but a while back, there was some nuclear material missing, and they were using these drones basically to sniff the ground, right? So I'm sure it has some type of radiological detector. Whatever route it was out in the west somewhere, I forget the exact road he was talking about, but basically they launched these drones out, just kind of sniffing, looking for this lost material. Could that be it? Could be. Could they be sniffing for something? I don't know. But at the end of the day, it starts stirring the conspiracy pot even more when you don't answer some basic questions. Hey, man, if they're government drones, hey, man, government drones, we're doing stuff. Roger that. But when you got the governor of New Jersey going, hey man, I'm stepping out my front door and I've got drones right out in front of my house.
Shooting video. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
what's going on? So I think that's the part that's concerning is there's no answers giving. Okay, so cool. It's shooting video. What other capabilities do these drones have? Unless you get one, you know, you don't know. So if you think about it, we've had plenty of, I won't say plenty, we've had Reaper, shot down. And of course, the concern being whoever gets control of that aircraft will start pulling technology from it. No different here. So are they a threat? Are they not? Is it a state actor? Is it, I don't know, USG trying something out? Is it somebody else? Nobody knows. But
Yeah.
the worst part to me, Mark, is the government. The government is not giving us an answer. They're going, well, there's no threat to national security. All right, personal safety, personal privacy. What data are they ripping? I don't know. So if all of a sudden, the governor of Jersey winds up blown up tomorrow, might there be a concern? What if he's targeted, whatever? And I'm just throwing worst case scenario out there, right? You got a state governor sitting there. Somebody's pulling something on him.
Yeah.
But you can't tell us who,
Right.
And
Well, we can talk about, possible scenarios very easily here in this case because you're not getting a whole lot of information.
no.
So no one's shutting down some of the things that people are concerned about. That's for sure. They're not doing
Mm-hmm.
anything when it comes to concern. But this technology is evolving very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But we have worked with some of these things. We have, worked from aircraft with some of the imaging systems that are out there, which are very good. Some of those pieces, though, if you think about it, because what's the purpose? What would be the purpose if these are a other government actor in our airspace?
Yeah.
Could they possibly be doing? We could come up with a heck of a lot more scenarios that likelihood that it's not, I think, in this case, because of a couple reasons. And I'd like to hear your take on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that most of these videos that we've seen, to me, are clearly a large fixed wing aircraft for a couple reasons. There's lights on there,
Mm-hmm.
runway lights included. Some of them you can actually see the fuselage. You can hear that this is obviously a jumbo jet with a straight upgoing trajectory,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't come back, right? On a small drone like that, if it's coming from somewhere across the pond or being launched out in international waters and coming over here, the amount of money that they would have to spend, now they have it, but the amount of money that they would have to spend on an imaging system to get anything relevant would be astronomical, and risking losing it, like you said, losing that reverse technology
Mm-hmm.
engineering kind of thing, the risk of that would be high too. I just don't see that this could be an other government agency. What's your take on that?
Nothing. Here's the thing: nothing's outside the realm, and here's why.
True.
Here's why. We let basically a Chinese spy balloon traverse this country, and did nothing until it already traversed across. Right now, if you notice, we shot it. Shot it down in the Atlantic. Nothing's ever been. What did we recover? Did we get anything? Did we prove like the problem is there's no follow up to these stories. All right, hey, it happened. Hey, what's the next thing? We're moving on. End of it.
Yeah.
And I think we're honestly sitting there trying to go, okay, cool. Let's just sweep it under the rug and be done with it. But here's my other concern. If it is potentially, another state actor sitting there doing something, is it some type of probe to see, hey, what's our counter drone capability? I don't know. But most people I know that have drones don't fly them at night because the
Yeah.
cameras, they don't have any type of IR cameras. They don't have any type of NVG cameras. They don't have any
Mm-hmm.
thermals on there, right? There's no benefit to flying this thing at night. And then, oh, by the way, most guys don't want to crash it because you're still going to pilot the thing. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
waste their money. So this brings up a whole nother, kind of questioning. Okay, if they are these drones flying at night, who's piloting them? What type of camera
Right.
capability they got? The odd thing is, this is where you kind of have to use some deductive reasoning. All right, if it was another country trying to make a probe, Well, if it were me, I'm sure not putting on my hazard beacons, right? I'm not letting other people know I'm even
Right.
there. Just
Yeah.
zip it in. Now, and this is where you kind of believe, is it something US government related? Okay, hey, have they got the authorities from the, FAA to fly these things? Hey, you've got your collision lights on, so there's no other potential accidents. But then I believe it was the Jersey State Police, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was them sent up their helicopter to go try to take a closer look. This thing goes blackout and zips away. Well, that raises suspicion, right? So we have more questions than we do answers. And Trump summed it up best today. He got asked about it, said, "Hey, he's not going to comment on it," but he's like, "The government knows. Hmm. So why aren't they telling us?
Yeah.
What are they hiding? If you're doing something, do it." And the question of the hour: could it be somebody else's drone? Could be, because let's be an honest broker. Biden just pardoned a Chinese spy, right? My man's
Hmm.
on the take. So is he turning a blind eye, going, "Yeah, just let him do whatever"? Last run, get the last juice out of the money they invested in him before he's done? I don't know. So that's I think the concerns for us is it is a security issue. If it's ours, great. Hey guys, we're running some tests. No big deal. Everyone sit there and go, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
But man, if it's somebody else's,
Yeah.
you know,
Now, having said that, I don't believe that they're coming from other places. I would think that what I would do is just like in some of the other things that have happened in this country, I would source everything from within here.
mm-hmm,
And the person that's operating them and flying them is a bad actor, but they're actually here. Maybe they are a US citizen, maybe they're sympathetic to whomever, and they're trying to do exactly that. Now, that would explain the lights and, operating under the FAA stuff, which you can do right on your controller. All
mm-hmm,
you have to do is put in some kind of an ID, whatever that verification is, and you're allowed to operate those.
mm-hmm.
So I don't know,
But
but I think you're absolutely right that I think the fact that the countermeasure and the monitoring and those kind of things don't seem to be working here, or maybe they're just not telling us what they're
yeah,
doing is the problem for us, because we have to come up with some kind of counter to what's happening.
mm-hmm,
And if they are doing that and they're just doing their thing, why aren't they saying it? But go ahead,
yeah.
buddy.
Well, no, there's a couple points. You bring up some great points, right? So first of all, don't forget, and again, the number anywhere between 10 to 25 million illegals in this country, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
We know that they've dumped at least 20 plus thousand Chinese males. Well, you just don't roll out of freaking communist China, right? Like
Mm-mm.
you're not scurrying out of there. So, and again, it's a coastal state, right? So, is anything to say that, hey, man, you can't meet up here? Some boat comes in, here's your drone, off you go. So, in essence, it's not launching off a mothership, it's launching from here. But here's the other concerns, right? And again, I am not a FA drone pilot, but the piloting that I do know, typically there's restricted airspace. So when you start getting to
Yes.
certain places, it will not let you fly that drone into that space.
Yeah,
Well,
they have those geo fences like you're talking about all over
yep.
the place. It just totally just doesn't allow it to happen. Even those scooters that you see kids driving inside the city, if they have no zones for those,
Hmm.
they just zip them with those geo fences. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but here's my point. Well, if that's the case, how are they? This is where the question comes in. How are they penetrating U.S.
Right.
bases?
Right.
So that's the question of the hour. That one could go one of two ways. Either you're USG because you've got the ability to do something on your base, or you have found a loop around that geofence to now penetrate government installations. So
Hmm.
you can draw your own conclusion either way, but both make you sit there and question, hey, what's going on? So these drones have that capability, right? So there's a couple of capabilities that make you question some things. They've got the capability to basically suck other drones' power, Not sure how they're doing that one. And they've got the ability to basically defeat airspace restrictions.
Right.
So
Hmm.
those are just the facts that I know, from things that I've heard, and then things that I know. So then that brings up a whole nother round of questioning to make you think, all right, then what's going on here?
Yeah.
So that would be
That,
my concern.
yeah. That's a great point. They're inside of those geofences, obviously,
Hmm.
and they're operating as normal. And things that approach to them, they are taking countermeasures. They are, not us.
And just the final point is the evade portion,
Yeah.
right? So once they are making contact, for example, that helicopter trying to make contact with them, okay, they can't suck the power out of a combustion engine, but they can somehow suck the battery life. But whenever that combustible engine, aircraft, the helicopter in this case, dude, shut off their lights and they bolt. So that's where it just makes you kind of question. Now, some of the cases like you brought up, hey man, again, you grab a phone, you see something at night. Is it no kidding, an aircraft? Is it a drone? Is it stars? Is it whatever? Who knows, man? Right. But I'm just saying, from the information that I know that I've kind of gathered from different places, there's some things that will definitely cause you to raise an eyebrow to go, does not compute. And that's
Yeah.
really my biggest point with all of this.
Absolutely. And to finish the point on the footage and stuff like that, there were a few. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm sure you've looked at several of them. I've probably looked at 2 dozen videos that had multiple encounters or multiple videos inside those, and most of them were obviously commercial aircraft. Most
Hmm.
of them were. There's one that I actually two from the same news crew. It was a local, NBC news crew or whatever, doing something, kind of joking about it. He's like, "Yeah, I've been out here for 20 minutes," and all of a sudden he's got a video of one fixed wing drone,
Hmm.
quiet as a church mouse,
Hmm.
quiet, big wingspan, and it was a drone, and it
Hmm.
was low, no lights, and he saw it, and he's got it
Yeah.
on video. Now that one right there, okay, now we're talking something. Some of these drones and some of these kids, just go on these videos and see these drone racers,
Hmm.
and you see these other things. These kids are absolutely phenomenal at driving those and flying those drones. They're unbelievable. They'll go inverted 180 degrees, come straight back down right to the earth, go into a shaft of a freaking chimney, bro.
Hmm.
And they're good. So the fact that it could be something completely like that doesn't surprise me anyway. And here's another thing, too, those patterns of drones that they've seen. Buddy, you and I both know that they can buy those kits commercially. They can buy them out there, and people can do some stuff with it. So that I don't know, but there's a couple that are very strange, and you got to wonder what the heck. And like we said earlier, what's the response?
Yeah.
Is it really something that, hey, almost every one of these things that people are calling in were checked in with the FAA, and they had the ability to be there and the right to be there, very quite possibly.
Hmm.
But if they're
But
not, and you're saying you don't know what they are, and you're not bringing them down, you're not going to shoot them down. You're
no,
going to bring them down with some kind of technology.
yeah, you can't shoot them down because any type of
No.
projectile is going up is going to come
Hmm.
down somewhere.
Yep.
Uh, but here's my point: if they were, let's say, authorized drone flights, why hasn't anyone said that? Hey, drone spotted this date, this time group. Yep, was an authorized drone flight. Roger that. We got that. But then you got Trump going, yeah, man, we can track these things right to the garage it launched from. So that's the whole point, Mark. It's
Yeah.
why do you have the president elect kicking some crumbs out there, and we've got the current administration lips shut, not saying a word. That I think is the bigger concern to all this. Hey, if it's an issue, say it's an issue. If it's not, just say it's not. If you're conducting testing for the government, just say, hey man, we're conducting drone testing in an urban environment. No, everyone go, oh, okay, cool. Just don't invade my privacy. Right? That's going to be the
Right.
second thing people are going to say.
Yep.
Don't surveil U.S. citizens that don't require surveilling. I mean, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But the not answering the questions and then claiming the ignorance, right? That makes you look even worse.
Or it
So
makes you look sinister, because why wouldn't you want to call? That's your main thing, to calm everybody down. Give them with some facts and
that
some truth of what you do know. Just calm everything down.
yeah,
Say, hey, look, yeah, these are strange. And do we know everything? No, but we know this:
Mhm.
99.9% of them were off authorized and they were legit.
Yeah.
Just say
S
something terrible.
so so let's think about this for a minute, right? And I'm gonna sprinkle the conspiracy theory thing out there
Always
because
a good time.
always a good time, right?
Mhm.
Because Congress totally debunked the coronavirus virus, right? They came out with their report, debunked it all.
Mhm.
Shockingly, right? Let's put some times together. So a total farce. Everyone bought it. Fear kind of stuck in there. Isn't it odd? Here we are getting ready to ramp up to to a new administration, new but old, however you want to look at it. And we've got this phenomenon, unexplained, going on, right? Are we going to launch the skies with umpteen gazillion drones to drive people to stay home? Are we going to do? I don't know, right? And I said you can't pull the wool over the American people's eyes. Hey, you got
No.
people once, right? And
Right.
we had been telling you guys from the get go that whole China virus thing did not make sense from what anyone was saying.
Mm-mm.
Is this the new China virus? The drone, attack of the drones. I
Yeah.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
it makes you wonder why on one side you've got the incoming administration going, we can track that thing to the garage, but I'm not going to comment on it because it's not my place, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the other one going, we don't know. It's very odd. I hate to say it. I don't want no dramas coming up, right?
No.
We dealt with enough dramas
Yeah.
in 2020.
Yeah.
We don't need any more. So let's
They
stop
got
the
too much
games.
work to do. It's just another example of why this administration cannot get in there any sooner,
Hmm.
soon enough. And here's another thing that just to touch on the peaceful transition of power that they were offering and saying they were going to give, with them selling off the fence, the wall and all that other stuff.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
aside from that, who in the government is making all these decisions? Because, dude, Joe is gone. Joe is gone. Absolutely gone. There's no way he could go through and come up with 1,500 people on his own and do it on his own.
Mm-mm.
Kamala is gone. You just can't see her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That one she decided to jump on the airwaves and give a babbling kind of drunk, appearing drunk type of a speech, and just tells you right there that, oh my gosh, no one's running the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's driving it. It's painfully
Well.
aware. And people are starting to those who that we trust in their opinion, even though they might be on the wrong side of things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my opinion too,
Yeah.
you know, but it sure seems to be. They're starting to get tired of it too. Stephen A. Smith, if those of you who don't know him, I think he's really good. He's a superstar on ESPN. He
Mm-hmm.
gets up there a couple of days ago, said, man, I'm tired of every time that I get on the TV and I see a pundit for the Republican Party or just a major news story, it's always something that they're proving you, the Democrats, as being liars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true. And I feel bad for those folks because they were totally duped. Even though they're super smart and super on top of things, they were totally duped. And now we got, Trump coming in there and it's going to make everything even more clear to those folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I'm on the wrong side of things right now.
Well, you just had the federal government tell their employees they go work from home for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Er, So you've got an entity getting ready to get in place
Hmm.
that's looking to cut government waste. And then all of a sudden you want to sit there and slide in and go,
Hmm.
yeah, just go to the house for 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, dude, to me, the Dems are I don't think they're that bright, right? But you just opened up, well, shut that building down, shut that building down, shut that building down,
Right.
right? There's savings right there. And oh, by the way,
Hmm.
if you're working from home, what are you doing? Right? If you're not in this office, it can't be that important. So it's
No.
driving you there. You can't be doing anything, security type wise. You don't have secure access to stuff, right? You're going to tell IRS employees, yeah, take these tax records to your house and audit people. Come on, man.
That's a great point, bro.
All this stuff does not make sense.
No. No.
But this is like the last fail swoop because they know.
Yeah.
I think I think Trump's last words was he's projecting a $2 trillion savings.
Yeah.
Now, with that, I would say this. That's a bold statement. I would like to hope to think that, hey, Elon, man, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, big subscriber to On the Range podcast, go for a quick win, right? Grab something, grab a $10 million, grab something, but don't look for the trillions and billions. Look for a quick grab, get a quick score, and show the American people, hey, man, we found some waste right
Mm.
here. Easy target, shut it down, be done,
Yeah.
right? Because if you try to get
Totally.
that home run, you might get it, you might not. But
Yeah.
show that, hey man, here's at least us getting something and then build from there.
And the two areas I would like to see, because it's going to help Americans almost immediately. The number one is to make those folks come back to work and help out DC, help
Mm-hmm.
them out, get those property owners making money in all those hospitality plus food and all those type of industries, the museums and all those things, folks that are working on the street selling swag, get
Mm-hmm.
those people coming back to work, paying for those parking lots and all that stuff. You can do that right away. Make everybody come to work in person. The second thing is decentralize that agriculture department and
Mm-hmm.
help these farmers out.
Yeah.
Take deregulize all that stuff, help them out, let them start just doing what they can do. And I think on top of that, I think RFK is going to help out with a lot of that, because those monarchies with the some of the pork and chicken businesses, those are going to have to go.
Well,
Those are going
they're
to have to go.
Chinese, right? That's the thing, my friend.
Exactly. Not only
They're
that, they're
Chinese
Chinese.
owned
Yeah.
companies.
Yep.
How is it we've got communists running our food industry here in this country? Right? That
Yeah.
that needs to be fail swoop number one.
Hmm.
And I don't know if it can be done by executive order. I don't know if it can be done by,
Well, it can be done by
congressional.
tariff. It can be done
But
by tariff.
well, the tariff, yes, but we need to take it a step further.
Yeah.
You,
For
only
sure.
only a U.S. citizen can own land in this country,
Yeah, that's going to
right?
happen. That
It
is
it
going
ha-
to happen.
it has to,
Yeah.
but you can't. But you got to be careful, right? Because and it's got to be written in a way where you don't have the cutouts. Where, hey man, the Chinese pay me $umpteen million. Now I'm going to be the landowner, but in essence, they're
Mhm.
running the stuff behind, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be a clause in there. Hey, if it's found, there's a back door to some foreign entity, dude. You lose it all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the classic straw purchase, where they do that,
yeah,
where
yeah.
someone's buying it for
What
somebody else. Yeah,
what
that's
one
gotta
hundred
go.
100%.
Yeah. But there's some things they're gonna do, and, the thing is that's a huge number, that's a bold statement, 2 or trillion.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if he's confident that he can cut that much,
Mm-hmm.
that means the amount of waste is
Oh,
way
dude.
beyond that, because he's gonna be up against it just from all these regulations and rules and all this other stuff that
Mm-hmm.
people have put in there to make their constituents who are paying them their bills to finance their campaigns.
Yeah.
That's what they did that for, to help those folks out.
Well,
So they're going to be up against it, but 2 trillion, I believe them.
yeah, yeah. But see, the problem is they're going to get their throats cut every time they turn around.
They're going to
Bec-
try. They're going to try to just
because
destroy it.
everyone is collecting that cash,
Yep.
right? And if you got your hand in the cookie jar, the last thing you want is dad closing the cookie jar and you going, nope, no more for you. And dude,
Yeah.
they're going to do everything in their power, whether it's Elon, Trump, whoever's trying to take their cookies away, they're going to be trying to smash them, man.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah.
and that's the sad part. But we've let that system has gotten to the point because of greed. We've let it get to that point where there's no checks and balance. There's no way to sit there and go just like with the drone. How you telling me with the drones there's no checks and balance? Nobody can sit there and go
Right.
one way, another, military, civilian, FAA. Really? FAA, you got things flying in out in the air that you have no idea? Well, to me, that is a national security issue because where's the safety for commercial aircraft? You
I
know,
don't know.
there is none.
It
So
should it should be a concern. And they're not even saying that. That's the thing. They're not even saying, hey, look, yeah, we don't know everything, but we think it's all legit. However, we do have some issues about where they're flying. They're not saying anything.
nothing, because, and I don't know all the Um, there's certain rules to be an FAA drone pilot that allows you
Hmm.
certain privileges, right? And then as Snuffy X, as long as you're not, I think it's like 300 feet, or there's certain thresholds to heights
Right.
and fly zones and stuff like that that you can get away with without having the license. Well, if these things are breaking those violations, they should be able to track and figure out who it is.
Yeah. Just
So
enforce the rules you already have in place. That should do
that's
some of it.
oh my, it's kind of like gun control, right?
Kind of
More
like,
laws
yeah, it's
isn't
kind of
going
like
to
the
fix it.
border. It's weird.
Oh, immigration reform. We got rules for immigration, right? Pretty cut and dry. Read them
Yeah.
sometimes.
Reform sounds a whole lot like with the way they put it, that you want to change everything so you don't have any rules. That's the
Reform just
reform.
means you want new voters. That's what reform means.
Yeah. Yeah. That didn't work out so well for him either, did it?
No.
No.
I'm still looking for the
Anyway,
20 million Biden voters that didn't show up this
oh,
time.
from 2020.
Where'd
Yeah,
them
that's
cats
weird.
go? Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, that's a conversation that people are probably willing to have, to have now. How Sleepy Joe in 2020 got more votes than Barack Obama did. Oh
But then
man,
surprisingly, those, that 20
yeah, they
million
didn't turn
plus
out,
whatever that number, they didn't turn out this year. Hmm.
dude. That's a lot.
That's a lot of faking.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a lot
for
of
sure.
ballot stuffing.
Yeah, I mean that's almost 20%, almost twenty
Hmm.
percent of who voted last time. Unbelievable.
Well,
Anyway,
the numbers that got
it's
in there anyway.
if you're a crew member, all you got to do is stand by. We're going to continue the show over on the crew members page. If you want to become a crew member and get some bonus content, go to ontherangepodcast.com. Check out the crew members button, click it, and you get a free 2-week all access package where you get to have the Zoom calls with Rick and I, with all the crew members from the international club of folks who want to be 1% better every single day. Also, go to the websites of kelleydefense.com, warhog.com. Check out our training calendars with all this craziness and drones and stuff. We're not going to be shooting any drones at training, but I can tell you right now, we're going to do a whole lot of shooting and we're going to make you better at your marksmanship. And you can check out those calendars and also, again, become 1% better every day. This episode was brought to you by the Firearms Training Notebook. Buddy, I'm going to tell you right now, we say it all the time. If you ain't got a plan, then you ain't being efficient. You ain't being
Mm-hmm.
effective with your training. It's just the way it is. They're flying off the shelves, man.
Mm-hmm. Hot off the
Big
presses on
time.
the old Amazon print press.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. I want to do one thing. I got one more note this holiday season. So
Yeah.
for those of you that have listened to us at any time, you guys will know the name Joe Andres. So Joe is a good buddy of mine. He was killed December 24th, 2005 in Iraq. And I'm just going to share a quick story, right? And it's not about what happened to Joe there, because a lot of times that gets lost. What I have found more impactful was kind of the nickname I dubbed my friend Joe Andres. He was the Baghdad Christmas cake thief. And what Joe would do is he would steal Christmas cakes from another guy. And then in turn, he would hide them in my stuff. And I didn't know it at the time. I'd find them in my bed, in my boot, in my kit, right? It's like, where are these Christmas cakes coming from? And literally, I caught Joe a couple hours before we went out the door that night, getting ready to shove one in my bed. And it's like, it's you. You're the Baghdad Christmas cake thief. And it's a story I like to share, especially around this time. Just one, to keep his memory alive. So a lot of times, guys aren't talking about the fallen, mentioning their names. But if this holiday season, I'd ask you to do two things. If you see those crazy Christmas cakes, buy them. And do that. And when you do purchase it, remember the name Joe Andres. Now, here's the thing. Back then, they were packaged two to a package. So Little Debbie's did some repackaging. Now there's only one Christmas cake in there. I'll tell you a little story here. Here at the Hogg House, I got the grandkids staying with us. They spotted one of the Christmas cakes sitting on the counter, and they wanted it. I said, "All right, here's the deal." So we got to split it. And again, kind of at that 2 and 4-year-old type level, told them kind of the story of Joe. But it's taking that story, that kind of symbol, helping keep his memory alive, and we're picking up the next generation, right? So the rule in the Hogg House is whenever you see those Christmas cakes, you can only have a half. You got to share the other, and that's really to help keep Joe's memory alive. And then just remember the name. And I will tell you this, um, his family, especially his sister, super grateful that number one, I'm still speaking his name, two, sharing the story, and just keeping his name alive. So I would just tell you guys this: as Christmas approaches, especially Christmas Eve, take a minute, remember the Andres family, say a quick prayer for him, because it still hurts, right? Even for me, um, it's still a kind of painful deal. But just remember that, and when you see those Christmas cakes, go buy them, and then just share that, splitting them with the family, and just say the name Joe Andres. So yeah, that's kind of my closing for this Christmas season. I was going to do an episode on that alone for Warhog Words of Wisdom, but I figured, hey, since we're doing it, this will probably get out sooner, and I just want to make sure Joe's name is being spread around before Christmas Eve.
There we go. No, man, love to hear that story. I know we talk about it every year, but let me see if I can't bring up.
Yeah, so I forget.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think one of the kids found the Christmas cake patch. My wife's got the Christmas cake earrings, right? So this is just a little mark in there, and most people are gonna look at this thing and go, "Why does this dope sporting a Christmas cake?" I'm going to tell you this: the symbol of the Christmas cake and Joe Andres, they go hand in hand. I mean, I get texts from guys, hey, they see the little Debbie's box, they send a picture, hey man, just want to let you know, thinking of Joe. Um, Heck, I even say, my mates over in the UK, they send me a picture of a fruit cake, right? Not quite the same thing, but it's the concept of them thinking of it. So, um, again, just helps keep that memory alive. And they say you basically die twice. Once when you physically die, second when your name's said for the last time. So if I can sit there and keep Joe's memory going, and especially from a simple symbol of looking at the Christmas cakes, dude, why not help keep that memory alive? And trust me, the family, they are super grateful for it. So
Yeah, great story. I got a whole stack of them.
yeah, buddy.
So I'll make sure I'll run that. So we'll go
Yep.
ahead and edit that up. But cool, buddy. Anything else we got? I think we're good. We're going to do probably another show, maybe towards the end of this week, and then we'll definitely do one at the beginning, or maybe even after Christmas. So we'll definitely do
Yeah.
a couple other shows. I didn't know if you were going to do, and I will definitely, for everybody listening, especially the crew members, I will clip this up, and we will put that in a short or a reel or something. So we'll put the Joe Andres story in there. It's
Hmm.
going to be good.
Yeah.
So, man, let's go ahead and close this out, buddy, so we can get moving on. But I
Y-
got some more stuff for the crew members.
You know the deal, man. So for all the savages that's in this country, make sure you guys train hard because you never know who's out there. Stay safe. Don't be peeking out them windows, letting them drones check you out. And we'll see you guys on the range.
All right.